Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Neil Haley Show. I'm the host of the show, Neil Haley. You can check me out on Twitter at Total Tutor, Neil S. Haley Facebook, LinkedIn Neil Haley Instagram Total Tutor, Pinterest Neil Haley, and Google Plus, and also on Periscope at Total Tutor. And I'm excited to welcome the program the CEO of Exude Fitness, Edward Jakowski. Edward, thanks for calling, and how are you?
It's great to be here. Thank you. I'm doing well. Beautiful day here in the Northeast, as you know.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I don't know. We got to bottle this April weather. We're not used to this if where you're at in New York or me in Pittsburgh at this time, even though we're getting close to May. One more week and we're in May. Now, so that's the kind of key thing that your mission in fitness is to get people to look in their best shape, especially when we see our society today. Am I correct?
Well, yes, not only to get functionally fit, get healthier, and get more fit, but also make sure that each second of that exercise time that he or she is spending, Neil, is being put towards what they really want to achieve with their body.
Exactly.
And we have, and there are so many people out there that think that because they're active or they walk or they take a yoga class or they lift weights, that is all they need, and we want to continue to encourage them to do so. However, fitness is comprised of many medical components that the country is not aware of, and it also carries over down and filters down to our children, of course. So that's the real reason why people aren't able to change their body, is that they're following a formula that they come up with versus the medical formula, and that's where we have become a content company to educate people to say, hey, look, it's okay that you have big thighs. And the fact that your mother had big thighs, but your mother is not taking a spinning class 5 days a week, making them bigger.
So let's start out how you got involved in this. How did you get involved in the fitness business and stuff? Tell us the story.
Well, I actually was very lucky. It's funny. I was asked that very same question. I was very lucky to have been interviewed by Barbara Walters years ago on The View, and I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? I've been doing this since first grade, meaning that I was one of the children that would go out there and would always be chosen captain to take these other kids. You know, when you say, I'll take Bob, I'll take John, and I would always take the kids after one or two draft picks. I would always take the kids that normally wouldn't either want to be involved or just were not athletically gifted. And I would take them on my side and say, all right, guys, here's the play. You get in the huddle. Howard, you're going to go in the end zone, and you're going to turn around, and I'm going to throw you the ball. And everyone would turn around and say, no, don't throw it to Howard. And I would throw it to Howard, and Howard, of course, would drop the ball.
Yeah, remember those days.
Get back in the huddle, Neil, and I would say, same play, let's go. And everyone would say, oh, he's not going to do it. I would keep throwing that ball to Howard until Howard caught it. And then eventually Howard caught it. And that carried over to the next phase, and I was involved in amateur and some professional sports. I was very blessed athletically, but I also trained properly, and I learned how to exercise, and then I became a writer, a blogger, and the rest is, in God's hands, as they say. So that was something that I was destined to do, but I didn't know it at the time. But looking back at my behavior and everything that I did, it really made sense. So it came very easy to me, because proper fitness was taught to me by my parents.
Right.
And as you know, you're a big advocate of children and making them more productive.
Yes.
Without proper fitness, children cannot be the best that they can be. And
exactly.
So many incredible things. And we'll get into that perhaps a little bit later, Neil.
Oh, absolutely. So you decide in your mindset that you want to get people in shape and healthy and fitness. So tell us the journey after that. After you kind of discovered that as a kid and as a young adult, what was your next step?
I was in college, and I was going to do my undergrad at Baruch Business College in New York City, and I had to write a mock business plan for a class called Entrepreneurial Management.
Okay.
So at the time I was working in a sporting goods shop, and a very well-known celebrity who owns a big modern league agency at the time came in and said, hey, Ed, I want to build up my shoulders and my upper body. And Universal Machines at that time were the in thing in the mid-'80s. And I said, you don't need to spend $3,000 on this machine. All you need to do is do some chin-ups. I'll tell you what. Where do you live? Around the corner. I'll come over and I'll drop off the machine after work. And even though I was getting a commission, it didn't matter to me. So then I brought it over, showed them how to warm up, and showed them. And when I got back to the my shop, aside from getting feet from my owner because I blew $1,000 versus $100 sale, a light bulb went off in my head. I said, what if I deliver equipment and the education to people's homes and get them to do it on their own? So that was the impetus. That's where I got the idea. Borrowed a couple $100 from this kid Peter from Westchester, and I offered 20% of the company. He said no, just pay me back, and I did. I started writing. My mother was an educator, and growing up, she said, learn how to write essays. And like a silly boy, I listened to her. And then I started to become a writer, and I got picked up in my first book with Simon & Schuster, and then the next books thereafter from fitness. And got very, very, I was in the right place in the right time, in addition to my passion and things of that nature. And then I developed training programs for different body types and created the world's only body type program based on patents. And then this year we were just awarded a recognition that the program that I created, our patented program based on body types, is the only fitness program that was used in an independent study to show the efficacy against the federal guidelines for fitness. And that's to be announced in the next 4 to 6 weeks. So I had the medical background and the medical proof from a body type perspective, but I didn't have the blessing from the American College of Sports Medicine. Now that we have that,
that's huge.
Our message is still the same, and that's the most unique thing about what we've done, Neil. The same message that I wrote about fitness 30 years ago.
30 years ago, wow.
Still the same message today, and every single book I've written in the fitness genre is still in print. So, you want to talk about an evergreen, and it's all based on science. So that's really my mission. My mission is to educate, motivate people to say, hey, it doesn't matter where you are, it's where you're going. And something is better than nothing, but why study and get the C when you can study and get the A in fitness? And that's what we're about.
So that's great. Let's so Edward, 30 years. So you've been 30 years in the fitness world. You've seen it change dramatically, right, in 30 years. And your strategies remain the same. Why have other people gone different routes throughout that 30 years of just getting in shape, losing weight? This the whole business in general in the last 30 years.
Because fitness is that's a great question, Neil, and I can't wait to answer it. Fitness is one of the few industries that everyone thinks they're an expert in.
Yes.
You hear all the time, my trainer told me, I heard, I read, I smelled, I saw. Really? You did?
Yeah.
Where'd you get this information? I heard it's like the fallacy that people think that they lift weights if they're going to have more muscle and less fat. It couldn't be further from the truth. We'll get into that in a second.
That's the second segment's all about your awesome training techniques and your business in general. So that's what we're going to give the second. It's more about getting to know you, but kind of you're recognizing in 30 years. You're right. Everyone starts, any professional athlete, any college athlete, anyone that is involved in sports or staying in shape thinks they're a fitness expert after they want to get out of that and try this, right? They become a personal trainer. They think they have the magic
pill. It's like someone that loses 50 pounds. All of a sudden, they're a best-selling author. That's very nice, Susan, that you lost 50 pounds. However, there are people out there that don't understand that the medical background. In other words, if you were to ask 10 people that you saw, 10 strangers that you walk up to in a street, Neil, and say, give me the recipe, the 5 ingredients that make up a fitness pie.
Yes.
How many people do you think would be able to answer every single one of those 5?
Not many.
Zero. Right. And the 5 are aerobic capacity, muscle endurance, muscle strength, body ratio, flexibility, cardiovascular. Those 5 components make up a fitness pie, which means that each and every time we work out, not activity, each and every time we exercise, in order to receive a fitness, health, and an aesthetic benefit, one must include all those 5 components. Otherwise, it is incomplete. So for people that take yoga, most people that take yoga are already flexible.
Right.
All men that are tight should be taking yoga, but they won't because they don't find it macho.
No, exactly.
So if you take a yoga class and you increase your flexibility, that's wonderful. You now have hit one
of the 5 areas.
So you're only 20% fit, but no one would look at it like that.
Yes.
Look at all the joggers outside. You ever notice that the only people jogging are thin people? You never see a very overweight person jogging.
No, you're right.
You know why?
Why?
They're in the gym lifting weights. You know why they're lifting weights? Because people gravitate towards what they're good at, and they have natural strength. No one wants to do something that they're not good at. It's like college. It's like a course. And so what you need to do is do the things you don't like to do, and then you can have a balanced and functionally fit body. Otherwise, you're wasting your time.
And that's such a great point, because some people just want to be fit to look good, and they could care less if it helps them their health or not. While someone else is really looking at their health, lowering blood pressure, certain things, while other people want to be these professional fitness type look, body, great health. I'm the perfect specimen. So you such have a variety of people in our society, and obese and different things, and or not obese, and why do I work out, join a gym, 3 months later quit the gym, 5 months later get a magic pill, then go to a shake, or I just saw somebody on TV that said I can do this for me, all the infomercials. So Edward, you've seen that in that 30-year process, and you've processed different things, but you have to have those 5 areas to, I guess I'm going to
not just have those 5 areas.
No, well, we're going to find all that in the next.
Also know how to.
Yeah.
You also need to know how to apply those 5 components based on your lifestyle, your medical and orthopedic background, your current level of fitness. So although plausibly simple, fitness is extremely complex. So the next time, the best advice I can give anyone out there in learning and searching how to exercise to attain his or her goals is go to someone who has experience with your precise issues or your exact goals or your exact medical and orthopedic background. Otherwise, it's like 2 people that go to med school. One guy goes and is a general surgeon, and one guy goes to school and he specializes in knees. So if you get hurt, and you blow out your knee skiing, you're not going to that general surgeon, are you? But we do it with fitness, don't we? We look at someone and we say, I want that body. And you know what? You can have that body. But that person didn't start out 40 pounds overweight like you did with saddlebags or other areas of your body. Food.
All right, so when we get back, we're going to talk more with Edward Jakowski about the whole process of exuding fitness. I'm using this in an adjective instead of exude. You're going to have to explain more and more of why the name. And all the areas, one thing that you can look at in Edward that makes it different is that, he has researched this. He has done it for 30 years. He's seen the success rate, and he knows how to look at each other's body type and what exercise program they should continue to use or try. You're watching The Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Visit the Oliver Miller Homestead, an 18th century reenactment site located just off the circle on Corrigan Drive in South Park. Self-guided tours are available each Sunday from May 1st until December 8th from 1:30 until 4:30 p.m. with guides in 18th century garb located around the grounds to answer questions and to give information. Your tour will begin in a reproduction bank barn where displays give information on the movement west. You will also see the Miller still and learn about the production of whiskey and the importance of it and of the Whiskey Rebellion to this area. Follow the Miller Trail up the path and visit the transportation shed, demonstration shed, forge, a reproduction log house, the original spring house, gardens, and finally end at the stone house. Each month, the guides host at least one special event. The homestead is also a great place for tours, tailored to the needs of school-age children, scout groups, or adults. Visit our website at www.olivermillerhomestead.org for a schedule for the year and much more information on the history of the Miller family, our organization, and pricing information.
We're back to the Neil Haley Show. You can check me out on Twitter at Total Tutor, Neil S. Haley Facebook, LinkedIn Neil Haley, Instagram Total Tutor, Pinterest Neil Haley, and Google Plus, and also on Periscope at Total Tutor. 5 television shows taped today, 1 radio interview. Just found out I have one at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then I guess we'll say 7 interviews today. And a crazy week, but you know, when you get close to May, everything is in the wind down process and change of society. And everyone listening to this program and watching this program right now want to learn how to lose weight and get in shape and look that beach body ready, or whatever body ready you want to call it, so that they can feel good about themselves. Edward was able to summarize in the first segment that so many people just kind of go to and gravitate what they're very good at in fitness instead of everything else. So, Edward, tell us specifically enough what you do differently at Exude Fitness than other people do in your 30 years and now. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, the first thing that we do is that we are the only fitness company or entity in the world that studies the aesthetic effect of exercise on the human anatomy.
Okay.
That's the first and foremost. So Exude is our lab. In other words, over the years, people of different body types and of different ilks and of different segments of society, from children to the elderly to diabetic to whatever, they've come to us. And then what we do is we are able to create blueprints around their lifestyle so that they can do anywhere in the world. So none of our programs are gym dependent.
Oh,
so
wow.
you can do stuff at home, at the gym, while you're traveling. So what we've done is we eliminated a constraint for someone to enter the marketplace.
Okay.
When you do that, now you're creating consistency. Remember, the most important factor in any fitness program is consistency.
Consistency is key.
That's right. But what makes people consistent? And there's only one word: results. No one abandons a fitness program, Neil, that's working. It's like having a great lover. If you have a great relationship and a great lover, you're not looking outside of the box. But in answer to your question from the first segment in which you asked, well, why all these things have come and gone, it's because people are searching for the answer. The answer is right in front of them, but they don't want to do it their way. We call them Burger King people. They want to do it their way. And when it comes to fitness, you can't do it your way, or you're going to be shortcomings of all your expectations. Everyone can own a great body, everyone, but you have to follow a protocol. And if you don't, that protocol that I did not establish, I helped establish, but I'm the enforcer. I'm the guy that says, hey, you have to do cardio. Yes, I don't like to do abs. Who cares what you like to do? We put on society now that if we don't like something, all the new social media out there, you see it all the time with the hashtags, this and that. If people don't like the way you are and accept you the way they are, too bad. It's their problem. Really? How about this? Your kid comes home from school. He's 10 years old. He has a report card, all C's and D's. And he starts crying. Why are you crying, Johnny? Oh, because the kids told me that I'm stupid. Oh, Johnny, listen. Don't listen to them. If they don't like the way you are, that's too bad. They're going to have to accept the way you are. Now, little Johnny's not stupid.
Exactly.
But not making sure that Johnny's not doing his homework. So, why is it that we are allowed to better ourselves in our job, in making money and educational services, but all of a sudden now we're not allowed to better ourselves physically? Incredible question, huh?
Yeah, because you're right. So if you keep failing in class and then you get a tutor and then you don't show progress, that tutor gets fired. In this fitness world, is everyone's so used to trying and then failing and everything's fine. They'll keep doing the same thing over and over again. We won't do that in education. We won't do that in certain things in our lives, but ultimately in some ways. So to sum it up, Edward, is that you have to have a specific prescription plan for each individual body type, it sounds like, right?
Yes, and you need to follow a certain protocol. In other words, if your goal is to lose weight, which the majority of this country is today, 75 to 80% of your workout should be aerobically geared.
Okay.
When you look at athletes, okay, marathon runners, swimmers, and athletes in that ilk, they're all very slender and lift-like.
Right.
And when you take a look at a bodybuilder or a football player that requires more strength, they have more mass on their body.
Right.
So when people say weights don't bulk or women can't bulk, they're morons based on that theory. If weights didn't bulk, a marathon runner and a bodybuilder, non-steroid using bodybuilder, everyone, they switch the workouts. Would they still own the same body a year later, Neil? Would you?
No. You think?
So do weights bulk? Of course they bulk. Good, class. Now I can help you. So that's really it. It's choosing the right exercise, the right amount of exercise.
Exactly.
Now you got to look at it. Okay, jogging's good, but I can't jog. I have a bad knee. Well, guess what you're going to do? You're going to ride a stationary bicycle, because that stationary bicycle is going to prevent your knees from aching, and now you can do the required aerobic work,
Right.
but taking mass off your body. Problem solved. Bang. So we have become a destination facility and company at Exude where people come for their solution. Ed, I'm overweight. Ed, I'm underweight. Ed, I have this and that. Help me make this part of my lifestyle. And don't charge me thousands of dollars for advice. And we don't. We have all free content on our website at exude.com. Our books, from Escape Your Shape to Escape Your Weight, we're there to help people. But people need to they have to embrace, first of all, that this has to become part of their lifestyle. Once they do that, then at that point, then it's doing your due diligence. All right, what do I need to do? Forget my neighbor. What does Bob need to do to lose 30 pounds, given his circumstance?
So what does it take? I mean, the time after you follow your plan, how much time needs to be devoted every day to training?
If you're a slender built and you want to strengthen your body, only 3 hours a week.
Okay.
If you want to lose mass, 4 to 5 hours per week with a 25% deficit in your calories.
Okay.
If you don't want to cut your calories, then you're going to need to do that 5th extra day, because at the end of the day, it's what you're taking in and what you're expending. And I want to talk about one fallacy, Neil, if we have time.
Okay.
Muscle does not weigh more than fat.
Really? No.
No. You have a pound of muscle, pound of fat, pound of gold, pound of feathers. Which weighs more?
All the same.
Ah.
You know, the idiot test. I interviewed someone from the game show's idiot test. That you could get messed over on that and say muscle weighs more. Really? They're all the same.
No, it doesn't. What people mean to say is this: everyone, if they were to hold up one of their fists right now, including you, and I'm doing it right now, that represents the square footage, the real estate that fat takes up in every one of our bodies. That's 1 pound of fat, that real estate.
Okay.
At the same time, with your other hand, if you were to join your forefinger and thumb and make a little hole like the size of a silver dollar, that represents 1 pound of muscle. And if you were to close that hole to halfway, that would be a pound of gold. And something as big as you and I, Neil, would be a pound of feathers, but they all weigh the same.
Right.
So here lies the fallacy. If most of the people in this world today, and we do, need to lose weight and lose mass,
right,
what makes quicker sense? Adding that silver dollar or focusing on taking away the fist? And that's what we invented, and that's the patent that we own. It's very powerful. We're able to get people to see a difference in their body in 2 weeks or less without changing their diet, simply by the way they move, because now instead of adding muscle under the fat, pushing the fat further out, because when you add muscle, the muscle in the girth of that area being worked increases. That's why bodybuilders aren't playing full court basketball to get big, are they?
No.
So think about it. If a bodybuilder is going to get big, you're going to get big. Now, maybe that bodybuilder will be bigger because they're lifting heavier weights, but you're still going to gain mass, and that medical term is called hypertrophy. So instead of focusing on adding muscle, you have plenty of muscle in your body. So let's burn the fat to get to that muscle, so now you can slim down and be happy and healthy at the same time instead of going to the gym. And that's why people give up. They don't see results.
Right.
So, hey, let's see. Do I want to go to the gym, or do I want to go out with my girlfriends and have a drink? I'm going out with my girlfriends because it's not working.
Exactly.
So There's a direct correlation between motivation, education, and results. And that's our goal, is to motivate and educate people. I have to reprogram every person I speak to.
Right.
I heard, I saw, I smelled.
Yeah.
Now, I have no idea what you're doing. You're a school teacher. Why the heck would you know how to change your body and lose your saddlebags? You wouldn't.
No, you would not. And that's the great point, Edward, for sure. Yeah.
It's like I'm not going to know how to teach your curriculum, even though, quote, I went to business school. Baloney.
Exactly. So that's what it is. It's the body type. If we're not, and what we put in our bodies, the amount of food, all the areas you talk about, there seems like a lot, but I guess you have a very easy way of figuring it all out. So again, the website, Edward, to find out information on you, where can we go?
Well, there are two websites. The first and most important one is Exude, EXUDE.com. And we have programs that are available around the world called Exude Global Fitness. And we have a new relationship with a company called Tweeba out of Toronto, TWEEBAA.com. And they are the company now that handles all of our body type products. We have just started the world's only company to market and produce and sell body type fitness products and accessories.
Wow.
And it's really taking off. And people are realizing that, hey, the difference between my arms being trimmer, no one would know this.
No.
You're never lifting more than 2-pound dumbbell because you're lifting 10 pounds now, Barbara. And the reason why you're lifting 10 pounds is because you're strong. But people equate lightweight and heavyweight, Neil, with ability. They're not looking at it from a body type perspective. You understand the difference?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Edward.
So
Thank you.
Yeah. Right. So, okay.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, that makes complete sense. So finish up real quick. We have about 30 seconds.
Well, the message we want to give, Neil, is thank you for having me on, of course.
You're welcome.
Let people know is that anyone's body can change any condition you have.
Yes.
Fitness is the new prescription. And you don't have to be patient. You have to be smart. You want to utilize your exercise time smart, so that is what is going to keep getting you to go back and forth and make this part of your lifestyle, like brushing your teeth.
And that's how you're using education, Edward. Thanks for calling. I appreciate coming on the Neil Haley Show. Best of luck with all your ventures, and thanks for calling.